What's going on, everybody? My name is Dylon57, and I'm coming at you with another epic video. Today, I'd like to discuss the 7 things I wish I knew about MoP Remix before I started. MoP Remix is the first game mode of its kind, whereas you have retail or even classic modes where things have kind of been solved per se. MoP Remix is not really quite like that. There are some nuances and things that are good to know. And yeah, I wish I would have known some of these things before getting started. Even if you have been playing for a while, there may still be some information that you could find useful. So yes, stick around. If this is the first of my videos you're watching, hit the subscribe button. I have plenty of new exciting stuff coming down the pipe. It's free, and it helps out the channel a whole lot, so I really appreciate it. Learn more about how you can support the channel at the end of the video. Number 1. Don't worry about your cape. For real, just don't even worry about it. The Cape of Infinite Potential is given to you at the beginning of the game mode and follows you along with your journey, giving you incremental stat increases as time goes on. A lot of people really focus in on the cloak itself, like, oh, gotta grind that cape, gotta give the goblin his gold. You know what I'm saying, except in this case it's threads. But don't even worry about it. As you follow some of the other tips that I give you in the video, the threads are going to come. You don't necessarily need to turbo farm threads if you don't want to. Of course, there are ways to do that, but just don't even worry about it. Just don't even worry about it. As a note, as the time of this recording, the cape is not account wide, and that kind of sucks. So don't worry about your cape leveling up, like to use it on another low level character or anything like that. The achievements are a little misleading, saying that stats will carry over to your cape on other characters. A little misleading. Really, you just get about this much. It's not really a whole lot to start out with, but you do get experience increases over time as you level up your alts. So that's neat. Number 2. Gear doesn't matter until you hit max level. When you first start your character, it will give you tutorials showing you all the different vendors and things that you can use to upgrade your items and equipment. It can be a little bit misleading about the gear though. The cap on gear that drops is eye level 346. So as you're leveling up, kind of just throw on whatever works. If it's your first character, rotate out your gems. It's not too big of a deal, and it's really not worth spending your very limited bronze on early on. Just wait until you get those 346 pieces. So there's that. Don't get caught in the trap. Number 3. Spend all of your bronze on gear on at least one character. The reason why I say this is because in order to complete a lot of the content, i.e. heroics and mythics, you're going to want to max out your eye level as soon as you can. Increasing your eye level is the single most impactful upgrade power-wise you can make to your character, so it's really important to prioritize once you get those 346 pieces. Now what they don't tell you is that blues and purples drop from the higher level raids. So in normals, you're going to get a lot of blues, and in heroics, you're going to start getting some purples. But it's okay to go ahead and start upgrading your gear, your normal greens, at 346 because you get a massive discount whenever you're upgrading a piece of gear if you're swapping it out. So is where a rank usually costs 4,500 gold, you're going to be looking at a very, very small fraction of that. I don't even know the number. It's so insignificant. So don't worry about getting locked into a single piece of gear. You can switch them out and get them back up to where you were relatively quickly. Unfortunately, this discount is not account-wide, so maxing your gear on more than one character is not incredibly feasible at this time, but hey, do whatever you want. As a note of importance, your gems get more effective as you upgrade your gear, so if you're lacking a specific stat that you need, throw a crit gem or a haste gem or something into your pants, or your shirt, chest. Just throw one in there. It's going to scale higher if it was in a ring or a trinket. Speaking of rings and trinkets, number 4. Do all of the achievements. It may seem daunting to finish out all the achievements in the mode, but it doesn't actually take that long. If you finish all the quests in the expansion, you're more than likely to get exalted with most of the factions as you level. Not to mention, you get a bonus injection of bronze for completing a zone. There are a couple of exceptions on these reputations, of course, but for the most part, that's what you're looking at. Completing all the raids on normal difficulty, all the heroic dungeons, all the heroic scenarios, and the escalation achievement will give you rings, trinkets, and a necklace to socket prismatic gems into. You can also get specific collectibles from some achievements, like the Astral Cloud Serpent recolor, and a class-specific set of gear for transmog. So the achievements are definitely worth doing. You're going to want to pick up those rings and trinkets as soon as you can, because it gives you a lot of player power. Number 5. Queue for everything. Literally everything. If you can. Raid resets are every day, so you can queue for LFR and get some nice rewards, including bronze and threads just for participating. At this point, at least one person in the group is bound to be max eye level and pretty juiced, so queues are very quick to complete in general. Something I personally didn't know until playing this game mode is that you can queue up to 7 LFR instances at the same time. So I would highly recommend doing that, as it can kind of take a while for one of those groups to form. But once you get going, as you finish one LFR, the next one will start, and you kind of go through. It's pretty neat. Once you're strong enough to literally solo everything in the queued content, if your spec, or class rather, has a tank or healing spec, just switch to one of those to get into a queue faster, and then switch back to your DPS spec, and then just solo the dungeon or raid. It's really fast that way. One thing I would note is that you should try to be considerate that some people are running alts or new characters, so try and complete the dungeon quest requirements if you're speedrunning a dungeon. It's just, don't be a dick. Another thing that's not necessarily queuable, but also resets every day, are world bosses. They drop really nice rewards, and they can also still drop their original collectible drops, like Shaw of Anger. Number 6. Stack Haste. That's it. Just stack Haste. In this game mode, getting to 100% crit and haste is not an outlandish idea. You'll probably be approaching that as you get your gear all the way to max eye level. You'll want to make sure that you stack haste, prioritize haste and crit, prioritizing haste, until they're both at 100%. The reason why haste is important is because it dictates how often your Tinker Gems are going to proc. And that's where a lot of your player power is loaded. Once you've hit those soft caps, start slowly transitioning to Mastery where you can, while still keeping those caps. As a note, and this is a personal preference from my observations, armor, speed, leech, those gems, versatility even, those gems are basically useless. You can upgrade them all the way and disenchant them for a couple hundred bronze apiece, but you know, you may want to hold on to them just in case something changes. I don't know, but at the time of this recording, they're basically useless and are kind of just nice extra bronze. And lastly, we have number 7. If you want to get collectibles, just level alts. After a recent patch, they basically just hand you 40,000 bronze for leveling a character. I say free, you have to level the character, but regardless, you're going to get 40k bronze off the bat from leveling a character, and if you've already gotten at least like 300% XP on your cloak for your main character, you're going to be able to level up your second character very quickly. It took me a couple of evenings of not even trying to get a character leveled up, and I ended up with around 80 to 100k bronze, just chilling. You know, if you currently have a main that you primarily play, and you want to go into the new warband features for the upcoming expansion, the War Within, hey, maybe it's time to level those alts. It's boring, but you'll be able to unlock all the collectibles, and you'll pretty much be carried through everything, all the time, and then you can do anything else. And that's 7 things I wish I knew before I started MoP Remix. If you have any additional things that maybe I didn't think of, let us know in the comments. If you found this video helpful, drop a like and subscribe to the channel for more epic videos. If you'd like to help support me as I grow and improve my content, stop by my Patreon. You can support for just $1 a month. I have a lot of plans for exclusive perks moving forward, so you won't want to miss out. This has been Dylon57. Have a good one, and I'll see you in the next video.